welcome back to Ask Amy. Before I get into today's question, I have two things to say. One, what's our date? The 10th, February 10th. So the next Little School of Big Change course begins on March 2nd in just 3 weeks. Crazy, 3 weeks. So check it out. I'm going to be doing a live webinar every single week, starting this week until the launch of the school, the first week of March. And there's some great topics, and I'll put all the links here so you can look into all that, but have that on your radar because, as you know, I only run this course twice a year. Absolutely love it. This is the time to get in if you're at all curious, at all wondering about it. And before March 2nd is the time to get in really because it's a little bit cheaper if you get in before that launch week. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if you have sent me a question and I haven't gotten it to it yet, I'm getting there. So a weird thing happened where back in the middle of November, like some stuff happened to my hosting, and like I moved to a different server and all this kind of stuff that you don't need to know about. I don't really know anything about it except that it happened. But what happened in the process of that is that all of the Ask Amy questions that were getting bounced into my email so that I could see them and address them, it got lost. They didn't get delivered. So I had quite a few, like just in a backlog of them, right? I had quite a few there. So I still would go to my Ask Amy folder and see some questions and address them for the last, 2.5 months. But I did notice, seems like they've slowed down. And it seems like, especially in the last couple weeks, it seems like they're starting to dry up a little bit. And it was kind of strange, but I didn't give it too much thought. I don't know. I just didn't think too much of it. And then through a crazy course of events, I found out that I wasn't getting them. So I do have access to them. I was able to retrieve them and I have them now, but there are a bunch of amazing questions, like really, really good questions that have come in since the middle of November that I haven't seen until now. So just so you know, if you sent me a question, I'm sorry it's taken 2.5 months, but it is on my radar and I will address them all very soon. So on that note, let me get to today's question. It is from Elizabeth. So Elizabeth says, I was wondering if you might be willing to speak a bit about how thoughts on failure, mistakes, personal inadequacy, etc., look in the light of the new paradigm. They are painful thoughts that seem to be very much true, more like a recognition of reality than a made-up story. And not surprising, they lead to various attempts to numb them away. Are the concepts of failure, self-worth, and personal value relevant or addressed by the new paradigm? I hear you talk about psychological safety and wellness being inherent in our true nature, but I can't quite see if this relates to these other concepts. Thank you for considering this. I'm excited to be enrolled in the Little School of Big Change for the spring. I'm excited too. I can't wait to meet you there, Elizabeth. Okay, so I love this. I say this every time, I know. I do love this question though, for a few reasons. So how thoughts of failure, mistakes, personal inadequacy look in light of the new paradigm. The new paradigm, like this understanding that I'm sharing here all the time, is deceptively simple. There really are no categories, caveats, exceptions. There is no, here's my nutshell of it, right? There is no inherent problem. We are well, we are health, we are resilience, we are A-okay 100% of the time, no exceptions, no caveats. And in that, our experience of life shows up through us as psychological thought experience stuff, you might call it, moment to moment to moment. And that experience is always changing, always changing. The way you look, the way your failures look, the way your successes look, the way your dog looks, the way your life looks, does not stay the same. Now, it does seem like it does when we think that what we're seeing is accurate. So when it looks like, oh, my eyes just look out and see my dog, and that's my dog, and this is how I feel about my dog, you're going to experience surprising consistency in perceptions of your dog because they're coming from your head. They're not coming from the dog. They're coming from your head. And when your mind is telling you, yep, there's a dog, here's how I feel, this is just how it goes, you kind of experience that. Now, if you look again, you'll see that even that is constantly changing. Sometimes the dog is right in front of you jumping on your lap and you don't even see it because your mind is somewhere else. Sometimes the dog is the cutest creature you've ever seen. Other times when it's like eating your shoe, it's not so cute. Like it varies, right? But we tend to be in this level up here where we're looking at the generalized version of things. We're looking at this generalized kind of concept of here's me, here's my failures, here's my dog, whatever. And we just think it is a thing, this looks like a thing and it looks like a stable thing. What this understanding starts to open us up to is what's beyond that. So sure, our minds are going to go out and generalize and stereotype and call it a dog and call it a failure and call you this and call you that. And it's going to look like a stable thing until we kind of see what's beyond that. And what's beyond that is that actually it's not so stable and it's always in flux. And it is not, none of us ever, it's not even possible to look out there and see out there. We look out there, we even call it out there, but the seeing happens in our own heads. There is no out there. I mean, there is a physical stuff, right? We can touch, but there is no opinion. There is no good or bad. There is no nice or not nice. There is no cute or not cute out there. That's always happening in our own minds, and our minds can go anywhere. Like your mind isn't going to only see yourself in a certain way forever. And we all know that, right? Like our minds are always moving around. So what this kind of backs us up into and shows us is we don't see things like there's a lot more than how things appear. We see what our mind tells us to see. We see the generalized, stereotyped, big picture, labels, all that good stuff. And there's great reason for that, which we don't have time to get into right now. That's not a problem, right? This is just how our mind works to help us get through life in the most efficient way possible. But it's also incredibly life-changing and huge to see that there's so much that we aren't seeing things as they are, right? We're seeing things as our mind spits them out. So Elizabeth, when it comes to things like failure, mistakes, personal inadequacy, those are thought. They are no different than that dog's cute, that one's not. I like Amy's stencil on the wall back there. I think that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. They're all opinions, right? There is no truth to any of it. It's always changing. It could change. It's definitely going to change from person to person, and it could change within person from moment to moment. There's just no actual truth or reality in that sense to that stuff. Now, you might say, some of these seem like they're a little bit more objective than others. So failure, let's say you get up to give a presentation at work and you bomb. You don't remember what to say. You say it horribly. They boo you out of the room. They fire you. Did you do the presentation well? No. We can say that's an objective fact. Fine. But your experience, Elizabeth, of that objective fact, totally made of thought. You are not, when you're sitting at home thinking, I'm such a loser, I can't believe that happened. Or you're thinking, oh, well, yeah, I was really tired and I'll bounce back, no big deal. Either way, that's how your mind is just giving you that picture in that very moment. It's an opinion and it's always changing, and it has nothing to do really with what happened out in the world. It truly doesn't, because you can have 7 billion people, they can all see you bomb at your work presentation, and you're going to have 7 billion different experiences, and way more than that, because in every moment their mind's going to be shifting and changing, and they're going to have a different experience. So there is no there, but this is so hard for our minds to see because we're so sure. And again, that's great that we're so sure. That's the way a mind works. Our mind doesn't want to put us in life and say, oh, I don't know, nothing's real, nothing's, objective and solid, and it's all made up. Like, to our mind, that's super threatening, because our mind is just like, know what's happening, know who you are, know what's coming, make it through life as long as you can alive. But see, that's just how a mind talks. We don't need that. So the beauty, like the sweet spot in this, is when we can let our minds do whatever they need to do, and we can see that that's what's happening, but we also are onto it. When you're in bed for 3 days after you bomb the presentation, thinking you're the biggest loser on earth, you can know, oh, this can't be the truth. because everyone in that room, everyone in life has a different truth. This can't be the truth. It sure feels real to me, and you can feel it. It doesn't, like, it's not, I'm not saying at all, don't feel it or anything like that. Feel what's showing up for you. But oh my gosh, can you sense the freedom in feeling what's showing up for you, and also knowing that it's not the end of the road, that it's not the truth. It's just how your mind is seeing it. It's ginormous. There are no words. I mean, it literally frees you in ways that are incredible. So you say, which I just love, because it's how it feels for me too, for everyone, all humans. You say they feel very much true, more like a recognition of reality than a made up story and something that you need to numb away. They do feel that way, yes. It will feel more like a recognition of reality than a made up story. But the fact that that's the thing, the fact that it feels so real and true, that's actually your sign. That's actually your pointer saying, wait a minute, this feels so real and true and also heavy, and I need to go, numb it away. I need to go distract myself from it because I can't handle this feeling. That is all showing you, oh, here's what's really going on. It's not a recognition of reality at all. It's a made up story that my mind is saying, this is a recognition of reality. See how horrible it feels? This one's true. But it's the complete opposite of how it seems. That, Elizabeth, I'm so glad you're going to be in the school next month, because this is the kind of thing that we just immerse in this and walk through it, and you start to see things the complete opposite of how they appear. For all of us, the worse we feel, the more it appears as if our feelings are justified and they're coming from out there. That is just a universal fact, right? The worse you feel, the more you're going to swear, no, this is a bad thing. Like, that did make me feel this way. I did feel I am inadequate. That feeling is going to do that. The complete opposite is the truth. That feeling is actually showing you, whoa, you're really in a story right now that looks absolutely true. Your mind is tossing in proof. Your mind's tossing in evidence. It's bringing in examples. That's what a mind does. That's okay. That's what a working mind does. And it's making it look and feel more and more and more true. But your heavy feelings are actually showing you the opposite. So it's so amazing to start to see that, to really, really see, oh my gosh, it works the opposite of how I think it works. And that's excellent news, really, really good news. So are the concepts failure, self-work, personal value relevant or addressed by the new paradigm? I mean, yeah, I just want you to kind of see it's all the same. I failed, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy is no different inherently in terms of how our experience works than this is a phone, it's 1:15 Eastern time. Like, these are all thoughts. I have to go let the dog outside. It's almost time for lunch. It's all experience coming to us through thought. And for sure, some are going to look very real and valid and personal and all of that. But the more we can kind of be in this place where, like, hey, what if it's all the same? It levels the playing field, because your mind's always going to find these exceptions. Well, this can't be true over here and it can't be true over there. But when we start with this premise, which we start with in the school of it's all the same, it's amazing what you start to see from that, how you start to relax into, okay, let's assume it's all the same. And then you really see that it is all the same. So thank you so much for this question, Elizabeth. I also want to mention, I know I mentioned that I have these 4 free webinars coming up. One of them, if this question resonated with you, any of you listening, one of the webinars is right on point with this. It's about insecurity, self-doubt, and the inner critic. And that one is February 25th. So I'll put the link here to that webinar and to all of them. But if this inner critic, self-doubt stuff looks really real and like an exception, you'll definitely want to join that one. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks, Elizabeth, and everyone for your questions. I'm getting to them. And yeah, I'll see you back here next Monday. Have a great week.